The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Hey, we're back into it and we're back at it. This is The Local Show. Thank you for joining us. It's Tom and Steve on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM. And of course, you can see us on YouTube as well. Just look up that Zoe Advertising on YouTube and you can see all the older segments as well.
And older people like you and me.
Yeah.
It's all there. Yeah.
We've been talking with Dr. Marc Pietropaoli, the owner of Victory in Motion and the home of knee repair, not knee replacement. We were on lasers before the break. Tell me about autophagy. Do you live in that world as well? Like, can you bring on autophagy and tell people what that is?
All right. So autophagy, he's talking about cells dying and then being replaced by new cells. So intermittent fasting would be a way to kind of do that, or fasting in general. You starve your cells, and the weak cells are going to die. This is very simplifying it. The weak cells, the older cells, are going to die before the younger new cells. So it kind of breaks you down first. Yeah. Before it builds you back up. So then you eat the right foods, etc., and it also stimulates new cells, stem cells, and other cells that help the stem cells to grow and take the place of those dead cells. And that's just very simplifying it. But to your point about the lasers, so if you pair the right diet with it, and if you pair intermittent fasting with it, and then you hit somebody with a laser, whether it's a red light laser, which we use to decrease fat and inflammation in the body, or the laser we were just talking about, the MLS laser, which helps with pain in joints and throughout the body, you can stimulate those good cells to grow and function younger. So it's really, you're hitting the nail on the head. It's not just about laser by itself. Yeah. It's about a comprehensive program. So that's why they asked me to speak at this conference in Chicago, was to talk about how you can use laser, but in conjunction with the right type of diet and maybe intermittent fasting, the right type of exercise, also other types of lasers, and then regenerative medicine, because that's where I was probably the most expert in that group, to talk about how we use laser with things like PRP, platelet-rich plasma, bone marrow aspirate
mostly
cells.
Knees, or just that seems to be the first thing that goes?
The whole body, but knees are obviously our number one specialty, but shoulders as well. So combining all those things together, I mean, the laser will help those stem cells work better. The laser, we will actually use the laser on the platelets, the PRP. We take your blood, we spin it down and get the platelets out. The platelets have growth factors, so it's kind of like fertilizer, which helps you heal better. But we will treat the PRP in the plastic bag before we inject it back into the person, obviously all sterilely, with the laser to activate the mitochondria, the powerhouse, the cell in the platelets, to release more growth factors. So we get a more speedy response, and somebody feels better quicker, because people who doesn't want to get better quicker.
So why would someone go get their knee carved up, or sometimes eventually both knees, because usually that's kind of what happens when this is an option?
Because they don't know any better, and that's the thing. And there was another talk yesterday about education. If you don't know, you can't make a decision. So the way the system currently is the options are either knee replacement or live with pain, and when you need the knee replacement, you'll call me up. But there is a third option: knee repair, not knee replacement, or joint repair, not joint replacement, whatever joint it is. But we're out there getting the word out. So somewhat with your guys' help, and I greatly appreciate it. I just was out in the waiting room, and people hear about us all the time because of you guys.
Right.
So that helps.
Well, you just did a bunch of did the care program at Safe Harbor. You talked to some folks this week, right? How'd that go?
Appreciate John Murphy and his team at Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. We talked to about 120 people. got up and talked about this. Most of them had no clue there was a third option other than a knee replacement. And everybody in that crowd you saw, they all knew someone who had arthritis or had it themselves, and they all knew someone who was told they needed a knee replacement or a joint replacement. And so getting the word out, thank you for that. Thank you, John Murphy and his team. We also we were at the Alzheimer's Living with
Sheila?
Living with Dementia.
These are all friends of the show.
Ostrom.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sheila, for that. Your team was great. It was an amazing conference. The vendors were all great there. I spoke to the Springport seniors. Let's have a shout out to them in Union Springs. It was all ladies because they all outlive us. I said, "Where's all the men?" They said, "Well, there's no more men left." But it was so nice to see these ladies getting together and breaking bread together and just talking, about all these other different options.
More men or women have knee issues?
It's pretty equal, but the women do outlive the men, so probably more women overall as you get older.
Yeah,
and they have more hip replacements, right? The women?
I don't know that exact stat because I don't do joint replacements anymore, which is great. But as the age gets older, it's more women, yes, because the women again.
So we were out with some friends this last weekend, and our friend said, "Yep, couple weeks I'm getting a knee replacement. I eventually have to have them both done." So of course, I've got to be like, do you know this guy that does this thing? And it's hard because it feels like I'm speaking Latin in Italy a little, or maybe not in Italy, maybe they might know Latin, right? But people don't understand it. It's like a new thing.
Yeah, they can't even.
And they don't. They said,
possible.
well, if it's bone on bone, I'm going to have a replacement. You talk to people every day that probably are struggling with that issue, right?
Every single day, every single day we get people who who've been through the system. You saw that talk that I gave about my one patient, Bill. He came to me, his wife brought him in because everybody was telling me you need a knee replacement, you need shoulder replacement, and he'd been through the system. So it took him 54 weeks to go from his primary care to taking over the counter, to getting x-rays, to going to PT, to going to an ortho, to getting cortisone shots.
That's 2 weeks, more than a year, Tom. I know you don't.
Hyaluronic acid injections, gel shots, and to finally get an MRI, and then finally being told you need a knee replacement and there's no other option. And his wife brought him into me. We figured all that out in one day. We call it a clarity day. We can get all that done in one day.
Why would a orthopedic surgeon that knows there's other ways not tell people there's other ways?
Well, some of them don't know there's other ways, so it's not their fault, a lot of that. But the other thing is, if they did know there was other ways, you just got to use the thing, like, what would you do for yourself and your own family? Mm-hmm. And I would try to avoid a knee replacement. My dad had an infected hip replacement, and eventually it cost him his life. So, like, even... I would do this for my own family. I would do it for myself. And eventually we're going to eliminate the need for knee replacements by the year 2043.
So being an orthopedic surgeon, people
interrupted me on
people
that.
Might say,
we're gonna eliminate the need for knee replacements by the year 2043.
I got it. But today, someone that said, oh, you're going to need a knee replacement. Oh, you're going to have to do it. Sometimes I don't think people believe it. They think it's voodoo medicine or something. They don't actually believe. I mean, you're an orthopedic surgeon. You've been there, done that. You're not rubbing a wand on it. You're doing some serious stuff here.
Every day it's getting better. Every day we're getting better at it. It is possible to avoid a knee replacement 82 to 95% of the time, not 100% of the time, but it will continue to get better. Just like AI, the worst version of AI you're ever going to use is today. The worst version of knee repair, not knee replacement, you're ever going to get is today. It's only going to continue to get better, and it is.
Okay.
That's why going to these courses is helpful.
I know you guys have amazing people in the office that can answer questions, so folks can call 685-7544. Say, oh, what do I do? Should I talk about it? And I know you did that one day avail thing. We have a magic word for that. What do you call
Clarity
that?
Day.
Clarity Day. So
figure out what's wrong in one day.
There we go.
Half a day.
685-7544. At least ask. Why have surgery if you don't have surgery? VictoryInMotion.com. Thanks for coming, Marc.
Thank you for having me, as always.